welcome back for FlossTube video number 2. Now I don't know what the FlossTube or the YouTube dropout rates are, but surely getting to video 2 has to be some kind of milestone. Hopefully it's a good omen for the channel. Thanks to everyone who watched my first FlossTube video and all my little videos since then. It was kind of it's a bit of a slow burn in terms of watches. And I think it's just because I'm used to that instant gratification of Instagram. So it's hard to get used to that slow moving nature of YouTube. And I think YouTube is still trying to figure out who I am and who my audience should be and who would be interested in these videos. Also, I didn't tell anyone about these videos until a couple of weeks after I made them. And once I did, everything picked up a little bit. So it's funny how marketing yourself can actually make people aware of what you're doing. That's a lesson that I've learned over the last 10 years. Okay, so for today's video, I want to give you an update of my current work in progress pieces. I've had a couple of finishes and I want to announce the winners of our Little Christmas Shops Stitch Along giveaway from FlossTube 1 video. And I've got a couple of things that I want to unbox that I want to show you as well. And I'm going to answer a question from the last video. And then finally, the most important thing is that I have to get started on making up my monthly cross-stitch subscription boxes because it is July 2nd right now and I haven't made up the July packs, and I usually like to get them out in the first week of the month. So I really need to get my skates on. I'm going to take you along on that journey. So, intro done. Let's get ready for FlossTube video number 2. Okay, so last video I was talking about our Little Christmas Shops Stitch Along that was coming up and is actually starting in 2 days. And we were doing a little giveaway. So we were going to give away 3 PDF packs for the Stitch Along. So I have the 3 names, the 3 YouTube usernames of the people who commented. So we've got Jackie, we've got Luella655, and we've got MTYNer641. YouTube names are hard. So I've just commented on your comments with my email address. So just get in touch and I'll pop you on the winners list. And so you can join along in our little stitch along. So welcome, we're very happy to have you. And if either of those 3 are already on our Christmas Shops stitch along list, we can just transfer you over for our next stitch along. There's no problem with that. Here I have our little Christmas stitch along pack. So this isn't what the winners are getting. The winners are just getting the access to the PDF patterns, but this is the supplies pack that have already been sent out to all the people who bought the supplies bundle. So we've got all our colors, measurements, our Ada, which is here, and all the Christmas colors there. This is going to be a really fun one. I'm looking forward to you seeing part 1. The shops was my very first stitch along. So I'm going to give the shops a little break for now because I have done 3, but someone commented that we need to have an autumn and a spring, and I definitely agree with that. So later down the track, I'll get the shops up and running again. But for now, I've got so many other ideas for other stitch alongs. I just need more hours of the day. Just another maybe 4 or 5 hours, and then I could get all my ideas out of my head and out into the world. Now, in terms of giveaways, I found running a giveaway on YouTube is a little bit tricky because you can't get in touch with the people directly. So what I'm going to do in the future is all giveaways are going to be in our Facebook group. So we have a really great, active, friendly Facebook group. I'll pop the details in the caption, but also you can see here. So I want to show you my work in progress pieces. I found a very handy side effect of these YouTube videos is that I'm working on my projects a lot more because I want to get them finished so I've got something to show you. And that's a bonus because it's making me slow down and actually stitch, which is really good for my mental health. And for someone who is a full-time cross-stitch designer, it is extremely easy to run out of time to do any stitching. So I've really been making time at nighttime just in front of the TV just to get an hour done. And it's paying off dividends because I've got a couple of finishes and I'm going to go grab them now. This is my bag of cross-stitch projects. This is a handbag that my husband bought me, and I don't tell him, he won't watch this, but I don't love it. But it's an excellent cross-stitch bag. That one, can't show you that one, can't show you that one. Top secret projects. Okay, now this was one that I was working on last time that was almost finished. This is not my design. This is a design by Cheryl Moody, who runs the charity Red Hearts. This is going to be a charity piece. So all the profits from the sale of this kit, Stop Killing Women design, this is going to go, 100% of the profits are going to go towards her Red Hearts charity, which just highlights the legacy of women who have been murdered through domestic violence. So I think that looks really great. The colours look really good. Now's the hard part, which is finding time to actually create the packaging and so I can get it up for sale. I'm also going to have that available as a PDF as well, and all of those proceeds will go towards Red Hearts. And then my little snowflake is finished. This one turned out really well. It's not often I do 2 back-to-back projects on black fabric, but I persevered. So this one is going to be released with its sister design. Another little snowflake with these summery colours. So I'll release these 2 together. I don't know what I'm going to call them. This is not my forte, naming products. ChatGPT has helped a lot in recent years. But if you've got any ideas for names for either of these, please drop them in the comments because I need all the help I can get. But these are very cute. Happy with those. You can see this size, they're roughly the same size, about 25 by 25, the fabric. That's usually the size of my regular kits. It's a good size because it's easy to hold, but also it fits into the 20 centimetre bamboo hoops easily. It also suits a couple of the Nerge hoops as well. I love the Nerge hoops. I'll have to do a whole separate video just about them. Not sponsored. I just recently started a new project the other day. So this one here, unfinished. So far it says I can achieve anything. I put and it's going to say mine too, and then in smaller words it says unless it's too boring or hard. And this is a little matching project to this one, to my Do Anything kit, which says I'd like to make it clear women can do anything, but I specifically would like to do nothing. So matching designs, these are on 18 count fabric because they're quite detailed designs. I always find it really difficult switching over. I usually stitch on 14 count because I find that the most enjoyable. But then when I switch over to 18, it's just a little bit of a shock to the system. But after a while, you get used to it. And then when you switch back to 14, it feels like you're looking through a giant magnifying glass. It's one of the little intricacies of cross stitch. So this one is going to have similar colours to the Do Anything. But I think instead of the purple, I'm going to make it pink just for a little bit of a difference. I like to create sets of designs because this is a big seller. So it sort of helps me to know, if this sells, probably one that's similar is going to sell, and then I can bundle them together. And people like doing sets, like I like doing sets as well. So 3 finished, 1 on the go. I did say last time that it's a shame I can't show you my current stitch alongs because I don't want to ruin the surprise for the future parts that have yet to be released. But it did hit me that I can show you, I can just do it in a very careful way and cover up the future parts. So let's give this a go. I need to do this very controlled. So I might take the camera off the tripod. All right. Give me a moment, let me figure this out. Okay, I think I've got it sorted. I've covered up the parts that haven't been released yet with paper, so I can show you the rest. I did have to check on the website what part we were up to, just so I didn't accidentally do any spoilers. Just because I'm always working so far in advance with these stitch alongs, I never really know where we're up to in any given month. There's a lot going on. So I'm going to show you, this is our ColourPop stitch along. So this started back in, I think it was February, March, April. One of those months. It started in a month of 2025. This was our first black work design. And when I was designing this, I was thinking, I just have no idea how this is going to go, if this is going to be popular. I wasn't even sure if I wanted to stitch it up. I wasn't sure if I was going to enjoy it, but good news on both fronts. Turns out it was popular and I did really enjoy stitching it. So even if it wasn't popular, I think I would keep designing ones like this just because I love it so much. So, all right, let me take the camera and I'll show you what our ColourPop stitch along looks like. Okay, here we are. Oh, there's a bit of a shadow. I'll try to get around to that. So parts 1 by memory were this one and this one. Parts 2 were this and this. Parts 3, this and this. And we're just on part 4 now, which is 2. So all a little bit different, all actually surprisingly come together really well. I'm trying to get away from the shadow, sorry. So the black work is so the black work refers to all these black back stitch lines here. Now they are stitched up really quickly. So while it's a really intricate design, it doesn't take all that long to do. And I had to throw the colours in because it wouldn't be a spruce design without lots of colours, so I think it's turned out really well. Any blackwork designs I do in the future, I think it will have to have colour. I just can't imagine not. Let's go up a little bit closer here. This is the most intricate. My favourite is probably this pink one here. Almost spoiled it. All right. That is our ColourPop stitch along. 2 more parts to go. So yes, we usually have 2 stitch alongs going at the same time. I'm going to be releasing 4 a year from now on. So at the moment you'll have Christmas shops or you can join in with the ColourPop. So that's all the work in progress and finished pieces I've got at the moment. Like I said, there's a couple of top secret ones that I can't show you. But I'm really happy that I managed to start one. That's been a real issue lately, is just having time to start anything new. But everything's moving in the right direction. Okay, now unboxing. 2 boxes I have. One is absolutely enormous. But the first one I'm going to show you is these little packs that I found recently that I'm very excited about. So I have a gift box. So there's a little section on my website where you can build a gift box. So you can pick the little cards. So things like little "Hey bestie." I write your little personalized note on the back of that. It's a whole heap of ones to choose from there. And then you pick the kits that you'd like, the snacks or the cross-stitch supplies like scissors. You basically build a gift box that's really personalised to the person you want to give it to. It's been a little sparse lately, so I've needed to top up the snacks and everything that was available, but there's a lot more lollies online now, and I found these little things which I think are perfect for gift boxes. So here's one of the gift boxes I have here, called a Stitch and Snack box. Pretty cute. So what I've found is these little, this is original sticky masala chai, little chai teas, perfect size for gift boxes. This one is orange spiced chai. And these are not my cup of tea, pun intended. This is more my bag. We've got little original drinking chocolate, and this is supposedly one of their best sellers, a mint drinking chocolate. So I love these. I think that the packaging is really cute. There we go. So I'm going to pop them online so they're available for adding to our gift boxes. I've kind of been taking my time with that because the gift boxes tend to be very seasonal. So around Christmas time, I make sure they're really stocked up. But it is, a cross-stitch gift box is kind of something that you could give year-round. So I do want to stop neglecting the gift boxes. So they will be up this week. And the other delivery I have is our fabric delivery, which is the most exciting delivery we can get. But even after 4 years of owning Sew It All, which is my other business, which sells cross-stitch supplies and fabric, I still love getting fabric deliveries. I mean, it is our most expensive delivery. Usually our fabric is the thing that costs the most, but I'm always waiting with bated breath for our delivery because it takes so long to get our fabric in. So should I bring it over here? I might have to bring you over there actually because it's a big one. Okay, so this is our box here. Very heavy. This is where the courier left it and I haven't moved it since. Pop those over here. This has come all the way from England. It travels through France, goes through Singapore. This has had a very nice holiday, so don't feel too bad when I'm about to cut it open. Also, while I'm here, please ignore this jumper I'm wearing. It is very old and very threadbare. It's full of holes and I refuse to throw it out. I'm going to be buried in this jumper. All right, here we go. Okay, now don't be alarmed. I know I'm using scissors, but that's just for this plastic protective coat. Once we get to the cardboard, I'm a lot more careful because slicing through very expensive cross-stitch fabric is not on my to-do list for today. I'm going to say as well that our packages, there is a Sew It All Australia that I own and a Sew It All UK, and they are not the same business. But Sew It All UK was started first, and that's the big one, and that's owned by Sarah. And Sarah has a brother, Peter, and when Peter moved to Australia, he started up Sew It All Australia. So we get all our supplies from Sew It All UK, but other than that, it's two completely different businesses. Sarah and all the team that pack the fabric over there are just absolutely faultless. Everything is always perfect. Orders are always 100% correct. Couldn't say a single bad word against them. One of the really good things about the business is when I bought it, I really bought sort of the exclusive rights to all the fabric from Sew It All UK. So while it is a very small business, my Sew It All, it is handy to be really the only place that you can buy this specific fabric. All right, enough talking. I have to open this box. Just have to investigate how they have taped this one up. Okay, we're gonna pop it on the ground. Ready? Yeah, that's heavy. Very careful with my scissors. There will be no slashing with abandon right now. It's been so long since I ordered this. I do have a list, but off the top of my head, I couldn't really remember what I bought. Okay, lots of whites because we were running low. Oh, it's heavy. So this is 10 meters of 14 count white. Hook the 14 count white Aida to my veins because I am constantly in need of it. I'm just gonna pop them over here on the floor. They're wrapped in plastic so they're all protected. Oh, what have I got here? Here we have 10 meters of antique white. This is gonna be linen, I think. 10 meters of 28 count white linen. Oh, I'm so happy to see these. We were running so low. And here we have 16 count antique white Aida. Oh, really needed that one. Oh, I see something that's very special. I'm gonna take that over to the desk in a second. Here I have just some of our best-selling 16 count Aidas because we were running low and I just wanted to stock up our 16 section a little bit more. So you can see here they're all folded beautifully. There's a few colours in there. Oh, and this one is special. I'm going to take this over to the desk and I'll talk about that one in a second. But it looks really good, so I'm very happy. This will be our 14 count antique white. And last but not least, I think this might be more. Yep, 14 count antique white. Whew, okay. That was a pretty simple box because I ordered, let me just get the camera up. Okay, so that was quite a simple box to unpack because there were so many of the whites. That's just our essentials range. A lot of the time I have a lot more colors. You know, I'll order a handful of 14, a handful of 16, 18 in all different colors, and then it takes a little while to unpack that. Then I've got to put them on racks. That can be another video idea. But this one is the exciting one. So this looks really good. I'm going to take one out of the pack. So this relates to our subscription boxes and the changes that I'm planning on making very soon. Now this is a brand new Aida and it is called Rainbow Picnic. You see here, it is very bright. Isn't that really cute? And that has come in big gigantic piece. 90 by 100 centimeters. I'm really happy with the way that turned out because this one has been completely custom made. So I gave the design of this to our suppliers and they printed it off. So I wasn't 100% sure how it was going to turn out. They did email me and said, it's very bright. Do you want us to tone it down a little bit? And I thought about it and I said, nope, let's keep it bright. I know that traditionally cross-stitch fabrics tend to be a bit softer so you can see the stitches come through. But this is for something very special. So I want it to be different and something exciting. And you will not find this absolutely anywhere else. So I've called this Rainbow Picnic for its little picnic blanket design. And this is going to be the first fabric with our subscription boxes when I switch over to a quarterly model. I'm going to tell you a bit more about that later on, but I think this is going to be excellent. And it's given me a lot more confidence from now on to design my own fabrics and get them printed. Very good. I'm super happy about that one. Okay, that's a little bit of a weight off my shoulders as well. I was waiting to see how that looked, and that was going to inform the rest of all my other decisions to do with the subscription box. That's really good. I've got a lot of it as well, so I think everything's going to go ahead. But I will tell you more about it very soon. That's the two things that I wanted to unbox. Before we get to the sub boxes, I just wanted to answer one of your questions from the last FlossTube comment section. Let me look up who that was that asked the question. 70 comments. That was, when I first put this video up, I was starting to think I wouldn't get a single one. Okay, so this question is from Anne, and I did actually answer Anne in a comment, but I've realized that I haven't answered you correctly. So I wanted to go back and just explain it a little bit more. So her question was, how do you finish the edges of your stitching when you're going to use the magnetic frames? So I'll show you what she's talking about. Okay, so this is, I have to go back here, one of my designs that is in a magnetic frame. So you can take these apart. See, they have magnets on them. They stick together and they hold whatever it's in between them and it hangs them. Now, this particular piece has been hanging for over 6 months, maybe close to a year now, and hasn't moved a single millimeter. So I can confirm, I kind of wanted to test them out as well because I do stock them. So I can confirm that these are perfect for cross stitches because they're not, the fabric is not heavy. And people also use them for posters or tea towels, anything that they might want to display. So she was asking, how do I finish off the edges so that they look nice? Now, this was just a quick and easy one because I was pretty keen to get this up and I knew it wasn't going to be touched a lot. I just wanted to do something quick just to see. So I told Anne that I didn't finish it in any way and that it hasn't frayed at all. But when I looked closer, I have finished it. So what I did was, on the back, you can see here, you can see the light. I've actually taped it. I haven't been good and I haven't used acid-free tape. So if I've got any advice, it would be pick better tape. But the plan was always to go back and refinish this a bit more professionally. I just haven't got around to it. So I just used pretty much random office tape. And then what I did, so I stuck it down first and then I cut over the tape.
This is probably my least favourite part.
Made what I was cutting
is always
a little bit
finicky
firmer
and I never
the
really
tape
got the
made
hang of
it
folding
firmer.
it. But you can't really complain about a job that lets you put in an audiobook or a podcast and zone out while you're getting it done.
Cut really smooth. So I do recommend that process. I know some people just have to have it looking a little bit nicer. The backs are very important to them. So the other things you can do are you can just hem it, just like you would with clothes, just like a tea towel. If you go and have a look at your tea towels in your kitchen, you'll see that the edges of the tea towels are hemmed, so you can do that as well. Another option, you could do the fabric glue, like a hemmer's glue. I'd want to do a little test on that first because I can imagine because it's for fabric, it wouldn't stain, but just Ada usually has a mind of its own, so have a little test of that first. But honestly, I am an advocate for doing things easy. It's better off just doing it nice and quick if it means that it's going to go in a drawer and never to be done again because you're waiting to professionally hem it. Just do whatever you can straight away. You can always go back to it. But honestly, I've never, even though this has tape on the back, I've never noticed it. No one's ever looked at it. There are no right or wrong way. There are no rules. Really, it's whatever brings you joy and whatever lets you move on to the next project because that's the most important thing. It's the actual cross-stitching. It's not really the finished design. That's a bonus, but it's the actual process of stitching that is what cross stitch is all about. So don't forget that. Don't get too bogged up in finishes. But yeah, I can definitely recommend the magnetic frames for just a really easy, basic, professional looking framing. Thank you for your question. Okay, it is the 2nd of July and it's 10:40 a.m. I usually like to send my monthly sub boxes in the first week of the month, usually around the 5th, 6th. And this is actually one of the few times that I personally have made up the sub boxes. And that's because I used to have someone working for me and she would do that. She did a really good job. So normally, because she was so organized, they would all be done by now. But the last couple of weeks I've had kids home from daycare and home from school. So my schedule has kind of fallen a little bit behind. So I'm only just getting to make up the sub boxes now. But that is just how life is at the moment. So I have to be flexible or else I will lose what's left of my mind. In saying that, it's 10:41. It's probably time I get a move on. There are a few different steps to getting the sub boxes ready. The first is ordering and making sure I have all the supplies I need, and I have to be very organised because the fabric I use is custom printed in the UK. So it can take anywhere from 4 to 8 weeks to arrive, so it's not something I can just go and pick up at the shops at the last minute. I have sort of finessed my ordering system over the last few years, but it is one of the more stressful parts of my job. And there have been a few close calls in the early years when I didn't order in time. In those instances, I actually hand-dyed giant sheets of white Aida in buckets. And the colours did turn out really great, but boy, it's a lot of work dyeing fabric in such large quantities. I wouldn't want to do it every month. Here I am cutting up 2 colours. The blue fabric is called Robin's Egg, which I have stocked in the shop before, and the second pink colour is called Shrimp. And this is the first time I've ordered this particular shrimp colour. Now, as I'm sure you're aware, Aida is so expensive. And I've cut up hundreds of metres of Aida over the past 10 years, probably over 1,000 by now. So I've well and truly worked out a system for all of my products where I leave absolutely no scraps of fabric left behind. I even designed my products around the Aida sizes, which is hard when a customer contacts me asking if we have any leftover swatches so they can test the fabric first, because I genuinely don't have any swatches left over because I use up every single millimetre of cloth. I'm also a diehard member of the Measure Twice, Cut Once club because, like I said, if I mess up, I can't just go and pick up another bit of fabric. I really have to pay attention. Okay, so some of the fabric is now cut. I need to do more, but for the purposes of this video, I'll just do that for now. So now I get to sit down. The rest of the jobs are sitting down. First thing I need to do is fold the tissue paper. So this month's theme is called Feeling Stabby, and it is a craft theme. I'll give you a little look at the different designs. Very strong pink and blue theme for this design. You can see little skeins of cotton in there. And then here are the small designs here. So because it's pink and blue, fabric's pink and blue, cotton's pink and blue, I think I've got a little bit of pink left, and I've also got some light blue, so I think I'll do a bit of both for this month's sub box. Okay, so ignore all the mess over that side, but I've got a nice clean space over here, which is all I need. Now, folding up the tissue paper is probably my least favourite part because it's always a little bit finicky. I much prefer working with the cotton and the thread. If I can remember how to do this, I think we fold it in half. Like I said before, I haven't made up the sub boxes for a long, long time. So remembering how to do it, and then it's around about that big. Okay, so I just fold up a heap like that, and that way when I go to bring all the supplies together and make up the packs, these are already done. Makes things a little bit easier later on.
This is probably my least favourite part. Tissue paper is always a bit finicky and I never really got the hang of folding it, but you can't really complain about a job that lets you put in an audiobook or a podcast and zone out while you're getting it done.
Wasn't actually as bad as I thought it was going to be. So I've done a little bit of tissue paper, and now this is the main event. This is putting together all the little bits and pieces of the sub box into the little packs. So we have tissue paper, the 20 centimetre piece, which goes with our 12 centimetre bamboo hoops, and we have our 12 centimetre piece, which goes with our little 8 centimetre bamboo hoops. So I have that, I have the needles. These are already been made up by Beck. Just our little card with cross-stitch needles stuck on. Got our stickers, we've got our bobbins. I'm gonna do blue and pink, so ignore the green there. And I've also got our box of cotton. So I'll show you the colours that we're using this month. Okay, 971 is a very nice dark blue. Here we have it. I'm going to pop those here. 3609, which is this nice pink, light pink. 3607, which is a really beautiful jewel pink. What else? We've got box. Here we go. 747. If you're playing along, now's your chance to guess. We have got light blue. This is one of my favourites. I use this a lot for a lot of my different products. And last 809. We have a nice mid blue. Big box of cotton, but I like to bring out just 12 of each, so one box each at a time to stop things getting very overwhelming. There's so many little bits and pieces. Let me show you what they all look like together. Here we go. You can see a very strong colour theme this month, and you pop it with the fabric. Here we go. You can see why I've been doing this for 4 years. It's because it is a lot of fun coming up with all the different colour combinations. And I'll have to do a video showing some of the past ones because there's been a lot of themes. So what's that? 4 times 12, almost 50 sub boxes. All right. Now, the key is setting up your little workstation so that it works for you. See, I'm acting as though this is your orientation or your induction, like you're coming to work for me. But this is just, it's really, I think I'm telling myself. So I need to set up the workstation. Beck had her own system of doing things because, like I said, I haven't done this for so long. I've got to find my way. And so if you've got a system, then everything can be very repetitive. The motions are the same. And then that stops things from being left out. Because yes, it is very bitsy, a lot of little pieces, so we need to sort of mitigate the risks of things being left out. But we've got a pretty good track record over the last 4 years, and that's probably because I wasn't doing it. But no, this month it's going to be perfect. Going to be no mistakes. All right, so I'm going to put my tissue paper here. I'm just guessing fabric, cotton fabric. Let's open up some of these hoops. I need my scissors. Scissors are a big deal in our office. These are regular scissors. The orange scissors are fabric scissors. And it's punishable by death if you mix those up. And I'm including myself in that threat. Okay, our 2 different size hoops. I'll pop them there. Needles out of the box. Stickers. I do remember that I like to pre-stick some of these stickers. And also the key is putting stuff in the bin as you go, which is not something I'm very good at, but it does help. All right, let's go. I've got my sticky tape and let's make up the first few of these sub boxes. Okay, there we go. Look at that. My first pack. I think I will move around. I need a place for these. These can go over here. I'm going to move around my fabric. I think what I'm going to do is start here and move around and you finish on the stickers. And then we can just pump them out. All right.
I mentioned earlier that I'm making some big changes to the Subbox, and that is that I'm changing it from a monthly box to a quarterly box. A monthly box has been really good because I've enjoyed having the recurring income every month. It's nice knowing that there's a chunk of money coming into my account at the start of every month, which is not always guaranteed when you own a business. It's as close to employee benefits as I get, basically. But I've decided that things have got to change, and recurring revenue be damned. One of the reasons is that there are a lot of customers who have a big backlog of boxes that they haven't got to, because you know how time goes, you just have to blink and a month goes by in a flash. So although I have a large subscription base, I do have a high number of paused subscriptions. Because I let people pause and skip as they like, I'm never going to hold people down to a contract. And there's nothing bad about having a lot of paused subs, it just shows me that perhaps there are too many new designs and not enough time to get them all done. Because we all have lives and jobs and kids. We can't spend all day cross-stitching as much as we might want to. So I think a quarterly box will fix that. It can be more of an event or an experience that people can look forward to. Because that leads to reason 2 of switching to quarterly. The last few months I've been purposely scaling down my business and trying to do less work but improve my profit margins. And when I sat back and really looked at it, designing a whole new Subbox every single month, and keep in mind that each Subbox has 4 different cross-stitch designs, I really am producing work at an astonishing speed. 4 designs a month for 4 years is almost 200 designs. And that's only my Subboxes. It doesn't count any of my other products. It was fun, but boy, it was a whirlwind of work. And I hardly get a chance to advertise my Subboxes because poof, the next month is here. So I'm purposely slowing everything down. A quarterly box will just let me breathe a little. I'll be able to talk about the design and explain it a little and celebrate it, give it the love it deserves. It will also give people a chance to actually see it and decide if they want to join up. I'm keeping the parts of the box that I love, like the coloured fabric, and each box will still have a theme, but I'm also loosening my own self-imposed rules. And the designs will be a little bit larger with more colours, so I'll be able to have a bit more fun while designing them. I'm really looking forward to it. I haven't announced anything yet, but I'm aiming to launch the new boxes in September. And once these Subboxes are done, I'll be able to turn my attention to designing the first quarterly box.
About 25 packs 24 packs made up. This is the first batch. And now I'm going to show you how I box them up. So I get these cute little mailing boxes printed. When I start my quarterly box, the boxes will be different. They're going to be bigger. So I've been playing around with the design for that. So I'm excited about having a bit of a change with that as well. But these are really good quality boxes. If you're a millennial like me, we can't throw out a good box. So you've probably got a stack of them sitting there and you just can't get rid of them. So I only have just over 100 of these left. So if I've got one more monthly round of Subboxes to go, I am going to get I'm going to need to get a small batch of these printed, but that's okay. I do like doing things in smaller runs because, for one, I don't have the space to store thousands of boxes, but also it does help my cash flow just from day to day. All right, so we have our little mailing box here, and all we need to do is pop in a pack like this, and don't forget the instructions, because without the instructions, the pack's not going to make a whole heap of sense. Okay, so there we go. Box it up. And then I tape it because these are mailing boxes. Okay, so here we have our little subscription box ready to go. Pop the label on, and now we just do it again and again.
I'm making up around maybe 130 sub boxes today, maybe 140. When I started this 4 years ago, I had probably 3 times as many. But like I said before, we have a lot on pause. So we're probably going to need about 130. It changes every month. That's another thing about subscriptions. If you're considering it for your business, yes, the recurring income is amazing, but also when the economy is in bad shape, the first thing that people cut down on is their luxury subscriptions. I mean, that's what I would do. So I find that when my subs go down, so that's basically what's been happening. My subscription rate has slowly been dropping, but I do find that my one-off kit purchases have gone up. So people are still spending, they just spend in different ways. And I feel like people might be open to a quarterly model as kind of a treat yourself purchase because, we've still got to enjoy our lives. It'll be really interesting to see.
Okay, so I have 24 done. So this is only 24. So you can see how this starts to take up a lot of space. So all I have to do now is pop the postage labels on them and then post office can come and pick them up once I make a lot more though. But that's pretty much what is involved with getting our monthly subscription boxes and what we've done every month like clockwork for the last 4 years. Cannot believe that it has been 4 years. It's crazy to me. So if you do want to sign up, now is a good time because there is only this box plus our August box to go for the monthly before we switch over to the quarterly. We do have some past boxes available on the website as well. And our August theme, our last theme is going to be dinosaurs. So that's something fun to finish it off. And if you are interested in the quarterly boxes, stay tuned. I'm going to document a lot more about how I'm getting that started. A lot of it is similar, like I'll be using similar suppliers, but there's definitely some changes and things that I need to figure out and some kinks that I need to iron out. But I can see it all starting to come together, especially now that I've seen the rainbow picnic fabric that I was showing you before. I'm starting to get a vision of what the first box is going to look like. So I think it's going to be very exciting. Okay, thanks for coming along on the journey and I'll see you in our next FlossTube video. Bye.